So so winter death race was last weekend or this past weekend, and I don't
The
think
winter death
anybody
race.
winter. So nobody. I don't think anyone was awarded an official finisher.
Really? No one finished?
Not officially. I don't know what that means. I didn't really get to look into everything yet, but I did see some people. From what I read, some person like was in the went to the ER. Some people like
Wow.
it looked crazy intense. Like I'll pull it up if I can. Like Frank was away this weekend at that event, but he was I sent him a couple of things and it just looked brutal. It just really did.
Yeah, well, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I guess it didn't let it down, but it's weird because I kind of somebody was like, "Oh, I bet you're glad you're not there," and I'm like, kind of yes and kind of no. So like yes and no. I'm not
Well, I
really.
mean, I can see that you would have some lament for not being there. Can you hear the racket they're making? Is that
I do. That's all right.
annoying us? Hang on a second.
No, but I'm also as soon as we get somebody on here that can tell me whether or not my volume is up. Last time when I re-listened to it, when I was trying to and failing miserably at cutting some clips, which I will go back and do because you wrote something up about the whole Eskimo of like
The
selling ice cream.
Eskimos and the air
Yeah,
conditioners, yeah.
but yeah, I got to check it out, dude, because I had no idea that it was low, and then people were complaining. And not listen, the cool thing was they weren't dicks about it. They were just like, "Hey, by the way, can't
Trying
hear
to
you."
help us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah, it's nice to see that instead of like f
The
you.
usual
Yeah.
Dicky request. Yeah, exactly.
Volume is
So
down, James. Is it really, dude? What is going? Can you hear me? Okay, John.
I hear you perfectly. Is my
I.
volume down, or is it both of us, or just you?
Oh my god, I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna scream. James, help us out. I'm gonna put. I'm putting my thing all the way up. I don't understand it. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna
But
put
you
my.
sound absolutely normal to me on here over here.
My output is okay. Hang on. Okay, so I just changed it. James, is it lower than John still? And I'm trying not to yell when I say that, but part of me is like,
Now you're completely dead.
all right, now I'm changing things.
Oh, there you're back. There you're back.
John is louder. Why is John louder? All right.
Because I'm superior.
That's it. Listen, I get it. I understand. It's oh, I'm so annoyed though. Like it's
Is
weird
it?
because out of nowhere this just started. It's like, come on, dude.
We have so many technical issues, and they're all niggles. They're little
Mm.
things. Be one thing if just the whole picture went blank and we can't get it back. We don't get that. We get volume, darkness, size. It's I don't know.
I'm gonna scream. How about now, James? I mean, I'm trying to talk normally, but I'm also like wanting to scream because I'm really frustrated and irritated.
Well, if you
So
screamed, it would probably even things out.
that's true. But I mean, my only goal is to be the equivalent of what
Is
John
that
is.
button? Is that button on your mic? Is that you can
Oh,
push
fuck
that?
me. I just knocked off the whole thing online. Oh, hold on. Now I unplugged something. This
Oh
is,
man.
I know, everything is the worst. Hold on. Give me a second. Sounds good now, just as I knocked everything over.
Has a bit of an echo now.
Oh, give me 1 second. I'm going to change it. Oh. All right, let's do this. There we go. And input. Oh, tell me. There we go. Okay, there's that. And then output is my. Okay, now it should be good. I hope. I cranked
Yeah,
everything up. All
sounds
right,
good.
cool. We
Sounds
only
good to me.
wasted 4 minutes.
Wow.
Now it's gone down again. Oh, boy. Has it gone down again? Oh, man. I'm going to have to get a different microphone, I think.
Or me.
Oh, boy.
What if
No,
what if we turn me down and then both of us up?
I can turn you down, and I have me at like 100. I'm all the way up. All right, he says that's
He
good.
said that's good. All right,
Yeah.
good.
Thanks, dude. Thanks a lot for being so tolerant,
Thank
by the
you.
way. And thank anybody who actually stayed through that. I mean, they tell you, I've
Yeah,
been doing
really.
all this research about how you got to hook people within the first 3 seconds. That was 4 minutes of wasted time and nonsense. So, and Josero, wait, Joe, I can't read it. God, man, I either got to get bigger font or different eyeballs. To
Or
Josero, hi to Omano. Back of. Okay.
well,
Thanks, Terminator Juice. Okay, we're good. Now we're
sure
good.
that
All
means
right.
something. Yeah.
Well,
So
maybe
let's
he's
answer some questions.
back off, Romano. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good, dude. Okay. Basically, you said hi, and John said hi back. Now we can move forward. We can progress
Yeah.
from this. So anyway, so yeah, there was. So Winter Death Race was last weekend. Go to Spartan Extreme and check it out. It was pretty nuts. Just to get your bib to enter, you had to break the ice with your axe and then go underneath the water in the river and grab your bib. And that was just to enter. And I gotta say, I did get a little bit of a FOMO, man. I was a little like, sheesh. But then I was also like, I'm pretty warm as I was watching that. So being warm is, but I was a little bummed. It just didn't work out. There was a lot of moving parts. I thought I was going to be at this event with Frank in Miami that he was at. And it turns out I wasn't. I got bumped. Like when you're supposed to be on somewhere and then they run out of time? That was me. I got bumped.
Wow.
So Frank was there by himself, and I'm sure he did an amazing job. But
Yeah.
I know he did. I mean, he always does. So it's,
He always does.
but
That's
yeah,
a lock. You got Frankie, you're getting a good work.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And also I think another announcement about the Sepe protein treat. It's it just keeps on expanding. So Frank
Keeps
and
getting
Jose,
more countries. It's awesome.
know,
It's great.
really killing it, man.
It's so incredible to watch.
I know. I love
know?
it. I love it,
Yeah.
man. And it's him and Jose. It's two people in about a year and change have really taken this thing from. I was there. It was at the Olympia, I believe, in Florida. He got the first
sample.
box, yeah. And he was like, "Oh, here you go." And I tasted it, and it was good. But think about that. So they get the first samples at the convention, or it was at the hotel. And then a year later, they're in like 15 or 16 countries and expanding. It's really cool. It's just awesome
insane.
to watch.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It is. It's great.
Yeah.
I love watching success. It's the greatest motivator. A lot of people get jealous. I get motivated. I mean, I like to watch somebody, get an idea, put it together, get it out there. It takes off. It builds. Man, that makes me feel good to see it, especially if I like them. I want to see them successful. That's the greatest thing you can,
Me too.
hope for somebody.
Me too. And we've talked about it too, where a lot of folks in this industry think it's just, it just happens, or,
Right.
it's somebody, they deserve it. And so, no, it's worked for. I mean, he's been in the industry, more than 2 decades in
Yeah.
various capacities, at all levels, a lot of high level stuff. And no, so it's not like he woke up one day from like, I don't know, doing some other job. Like it wasn't like he was like working on cars. It was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the Sepe protein treat. So it's also, it's also the ups and downs that people don't see, right? They see
Mhm.
him expanding with Jose, and their brand is getting bigger, and oh well, that must have been simple. No, we've been there and been hearing stories, and it's a lot. Listen, a lot of positive stuff, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of anxiety. It's a lot of check writing, and to me, I don't know what that is like. So to hear it and to see it firsthand from him is really it's been incredible, and I can't wait for it to just keep going
Yeah.
up.
When any luck, he'll give us jobs.
I don't know, dust off my resume and like put on a tie and be like, Frank, here you go. I could see him kicking his feet up on a desk. Like, what do you bring to the table, though?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, oh, jeez, I'd have to like really like pitch him hard. I'd be like,
know.
well, Frank, I can make good conversation sometimes. Sometimes,
Like Frank, you remember that photo shoot you did like 30 years ago? I was there, and I handed you this towel that you needed. Remember?
I anticipated your needs.
See how good I am? And I've only gotten better after the last 3 decades.
So let me ask you something. So now with your two puppies, you're
Uh-huh.
obviously like, way more, probably way busier than you were previously because it's just, more responsibility.
Overwhelming. Yeah.
How is how are things changed day to day, whether it's from your work schedule, your exercising? How has everything kind of been altered?
Well, luckily, they spend large stretches of time sleeping. So, we're crate training them, which is a really good thing to do for new puppies. It really, speeds up the housebreaking process. It speeds up the behavior process. It's a really good thing to do rather than have them roam around and get in trouble and chew electric cords in and get electrocuted and stuff like that.
Right. Which
But
is frowned
they're
upon,
real.
I'm guessing, as a dog owner, not so recommended.
But they're, they got a lot of energy. They're really playful. I have to make sure I get them outside and run them out, and get them tired. And then they sleep. So I either put them in the crate if I have to do something outside, and I come back 3 hours later and they're, to go out and, relieve themselves. And they're still just sound asleep in the cage. So that works really well. Absolutely everything else is affected. My productivity has dropped 70% since they walked into the house, but it'll pick back up. This I look, when you make this kind of commitment, you got to know what you're getting yourselves into. And
Right.
I did because of I've had dogs before.
Right.
My work schedule was different when we had them. My wife took over much of the, preliminary training, and whereas now I'm doing it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely more intensified. But we have a real simple, like when we had the first batch of puppies, we lived in a penthouse on the 6th floor. And to get out for them to to potty, it was like down the elevator. We had accidents all over the place. Now it's just like I take them right out the front door. It's 4 steps down and they're outside. And that makes it much, much, much easier. And I've researched the how tos a little bit better this time. I watched some videos of some good dog trainers and got a feel for better idea of how to manage all this. But yeah, productivity, forget it. You're constantly watching them. You're constantly on the lookout for accidents. You're constantly keeping them from chewing something they shouldn't be chewing. And so when they're out on their own, it's like they got to be supervised. So yeah, productivity is productivity and puppies don't go together. It's not not a mixture you're going to be happy with.
All right, RD, since we got a question, let's do it, man. Will I still be natty if I use Muscle Tech Alpha Test? I don't even
Nope,
know what that is. What is
absolutely
that
not.
stuff?
Nope. If you do anything other than eat, sleep, and breathe, use the bathroom and drink water, no, you're not natural. So this idea that if you use something that's legal and that's going to make you natural, that's absolutely false. Natural is what it means. Make believe you still live in the jungle like we did thousands of years ago. That's natural. Anything on top of that, anything, driving your car to the gym, that's not natural. So if
All
you
right, but
guys think
let's
that,
entertain. I get what you're saying, and I understand it. Like, and I think it's a good point to put out there. But I think he's saying this. And let me just, I'm going to guess here, RD. So if I'm wrong, whatever. If he took a test, a drug test, right, that was administered to some athletes, I guess, that have to do drug tests, would he come up as positive for a banned substance if he took this product?
he could or he couldn't. Depends on the test, depends on the substance, depends on a lot of things. There's guys who have, I mean, you could fail a test for heroin if you eat a poppy seed bagel. So
The old
there's,
Seinfeld, the old Seinfeld routine.
I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
to determine whether or not you're natural based on either legality or drug test failure is not the litmus test for natural. Natural means natural, the natural state. So you can it's what happens, it's impossible to draw the line. For example, it's not natural to eat 20 chicken breasts in one day. It's just not. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's guys who do it to be a, a bigger, more muscular athlete. So where do you draw the line? Do you draw the line at 5 chicken breasts, 15, 20, 30, unlimited? What's the chicken breast limit? Then you got to go through, what's the vitamin C limit? What's the vitamin E limit? What's the creatine limit? Where do you draw the line? So I am a gigantic opponent of what natural means, because bodybuilding itself is not natural. So how
Okay.
can you take something that bucks nature by its very existence and then expect to find a natural avenue for it? It's impossible. So everybody that wants to think that they're natural or pursue an quote natty physique, you're kidding yourself. There's no such thing.
Okay. So it was about the lab test that he's asking. So, okay. My thing is, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the product, but is it NSF certified for sport, or there's like another one that's, equally the same type of third party testing? And if so, then it should be verified that it would be okay to use. I don't know what the test you're taking is, or what, what it's going, how it's going to affect you, but I'm not sure. You have to take a look and see if so. Other than that, well, you probably have to go ingredient by ingredient, right? And see if that's
Yep.
going to be show up on the specific test. Yeah, so that's what I would do. But also, look, if you're looking to boost your testosterone, we've talked about this a lot. The best way to do it is with testosterone.
Right.
I'm saying this from somebody who went to the doctor, did the whole all the steps, went to the doctor. My testosterone was low, and it's a prescription I get, and it's not uncommon to get it, but it's worked. I've never tried any of these natural ones because every single person I've asked about them have said that they don't work.
Yeah, they don't. They don't work. And the fact that here's the thing, and this is part of the air conditioner thing.
Mm.
It, you take a study. Okay, companies need to make claims. Why? What? Like I wrote in that article, there's 500 brands of protein powder
Mhm.
available globally now. 500. Where's the point of difference? Why should I buy this one over that one? What's the point? What is it
Mhm.
going to do? So they go to, studies, university studies, double blind placebo controlled studies demonstrate, prove that XYZ supplement raises muscle protein synthesis by 0.000039%.
Hmm.
Now, that legally gives them the right to say increases protein synthesis in muscle. So they're going to try to use that as their point of difference. The problem is none of it is tenable. You can't tell. You take this stuff and you expect some kind of change. You're not going to see it. There is no difference. None. Zero in a competitive physique, for those who take a boatload of supplements versus those who do not. I have never, ever in 35 years seen an athlete who can pinpoint a difference in their physique, their performance, or anything solely based on a supplement. Never happens. You
Hmm.
can't tell. You just can't. So what happens is you get these companies, they broadcast and all of this stuff about scientific studies and peer reviewed published peer reviewed and published studies, all of this stuff to prove that their supplement is efficacious. But efficacious and actually showing some design change, some ergogenic effect, is almost imperceptible. So a huge industry has been made upon, the belief that this tiny little difference is going to make an ergogenic difference in your performance, and it just doesn't.
Hmm.
Like I said, I have never seen an athlete who can credit their performance increase to a supplement. I've just never seen it. Never. So Can they work? Absolutely. Can they make it? Can they make you feel better? Probably. Or is it? Can they improve your health? Probably. But is it going to be something so noticeable that you're going to say, "Oh man, I'm not taking testosterone anymore. I'm going to take XYZ super test emulator"? It just doesn't work. Just
This is a
doesn't.
question from Judson. He says, "Are there any the natural ones that people talk about? Do you is there any health effects over time?" Yeah, sorry, Scott, man, I didn't mean to send all that, but I was trying to get that to RD without interrupting Romano because he was on a roll. So I didn't want to do that, but hopefully you could do that. Sorry, but again, that was just a very, very quick copy and paste. So I was just trying to do something quick. But do you see, is there negative effects to using those labeled or marketed as natural over time? Because I mean, besides negative for your wallet and your bank account because they're going to drain it.
I don't know. I mean, it probably could be if you take excessive amounts of something or other. If you take a boatload of creatine at one time, you're going to have terrible gastric issues. So there's limits. There's limits to everything that you should be aware of. But at the same time, if the goal is performance increase, if the goal is an increase in health, sports performance, body composition, whatever you're looking for, if there's a definite difference to be made, it's not going to be made at the hand of some natural, herb-based plant supplement. It's just not. And the fact that there's an entire industry built around the fact that it might just goes to show you how desperate people are to find these kinds of changes and with the lengths that they'll go through to achieve them. Whereas if they just scientifically and open-mindedly read the research, they would be able to use the real deal, the real stuff safely, effectively, meet their goals, save a ton of money, and get this natty thing out of their head because there's no such thing.
And I know that term bothers you.
Oh my
That's
God, it's
why I
so
love
annoying.
that's why I love to bring it
And
up.
what's more annoying about it is the natty social warriors. The ones who think they're superior because they don't take, drugs. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's funny because Frank will bring that up as a joke. Sometimes we'll be like, "Oh, Zach's on the juice," and it's like, "Yeah, I am. I guess if you put it that way." And but I'm also not like, "No, no, no, don't call. I don't care what you call it," because guess what? I feel like a human being again, and I could give a shit what you call it or how you want to judge me. Because when I was in the basement, my testosterone was just in the gutter. It was. I can't even explain for people that don't know. I mean, it was just like everything was wrong.
Yeah,
And then when it went back to normal levels, it was a 180, man. It's just
yeah.
so that's where am I using it to get ahead in sports or competition? No. Am I using it for aesthetics? No, but I could see why people could because I'm doing the same things that I did before. I still made myself train. I still did all the same things, but now I'm able to actually enjoy it, B, recover, and it makes it just so much better than forcing yourself to go through the motions. I was getting hurt everything
Yeah.
hurt. I was so tired. I would 20 minutes into everything, I would just want to just stop. I mean, I wasn't playing with my kids as much. It was hard for me to maintain conversations with people, including my wife. How is that good for a relationship? It's not. So
No.
to live normally, I don't care whether it's not natural or natural. For me, testosterone is something my body produced that it stopped producing. So I'm taking it and got to say, will not look back at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing thing when I've seen this so many times. I call it, moving over to the dark side. Frankie and I joked with you about that.
Yeah.
It's that you get these militant natties that are just hell bent on this idea of being natural. Aside from the fact that the idea just is false, it just doesn't exist. It's a dream. That aside, they are so emphatically negative about anybody who's on the dark side. It's like they're cheating, they're this and they're that, and they're all these negative things. And then one day the sky opens and the sun comes out, and they realize, holy shit, I've been wasting years of my life trying to pursue this natty ideal. And then they get on the sauce and they're like, oh my God. And the tide changes. And I've seen it so many times. And I remember one instance vividly. I'm not going to use his name because he's a pretty well-known dude in the industry, but he was a production guy for a video series I was doing a long, long, long time ago. And he was Mr. Natural. He would eat, he would eat these giant bowls of food with this huge spoon and shoveling the food in his mouth, and, training and him taking all of this crap. And he was this big, fat, bloated balloon. And one day, I don't know what happened, but it was years later, all of a sudden, and we after that project, we had kind of like, drifted apart a little bit, didn't see each other as much, worked together here and there. But it was maybe 5 years later, I saw him in person again, and it was like, what the fuck? What happened to you? And it was clear. He found the pharmacy. That's what happened to him. He put this natty shit to bed where it belongs, and he got on the needle, and he did a real cycle of real drugs, and boom, he completely, totally changed to where he wanted to be. So it was one of those awakenings that, wow, I've been pursuing this stupid idea for so long, wasted all of this time. I'm sorry. And here I am, years later, doing the thing I was supposed to do. All right, that's enough. Hey.
Well, look, I'm not saying that this is what was for me was for anybody else. I'm saying I went and got everything checked out, and I exhausted everything else. But I always said I was not opposed to it. But I think it's what you said, right? Where you want to be. Where I wanted to be was to feel normal. Now, if I was competing, I would want to be at an elite spot so I could win. That's what I would want to do if I were competing. So I understand. I think it does come back down to that phrase, like where you want to be, and
yeah.
And that's but that's interesting that it took that time for that person to come around, and I think it was RD said before that everybody is said Nate Diaz said everybody's on drugs. Honestly, and at the elite level, there's a lot of that. I mean, Romano's even talked about working with people and helping them to skirt tests. That was a service that they came to him for. And these people were clearly not supposed to be doing things according to the rules, but what they were, I'm guessing, trying to do is keep up with everybody else. Am I wrong?
Well, that was the whole CrossFit revolution. It was CrossFit billed itself initially as, everybody was superior, elite athletes, our workout, your workout is our warm up, all this shit. And they were militant natties, absolutely militant. And then all of a sudden, my business morphed from prepping bodybuilders for bodybuilding competitions to CrossFit athletes who wanted to pass the drug test. It was over the course of 1 year, I went from about 15 bodybuilders competing, in contests, to about 5 bodybuilders competing in contests, to 15 CrossFit athletes wanting to compete in CrossFit and pass the drug test. So
wow. It's quite the jump.
Obviously, there is an advantage to using drugs. Obviously, being natural doesn't cut it. And you can't even define it. Every time I get into this debate with these natties, I go, okay, what's natural? Define natural. And it usually just boils down to 2 things. Is it legal? And will you pass the drug test? And that's not the definition of natural. So, it's a stigma that's got to work itself out of our industry, because it hurts the supplement manufacturers, because everybody will say that their shit doesn't work. And then it hurts the athletes who think that they're putting all this time and energy and effort into something, doing it the right way, and they're not. Stop it.
Scott, man, I'm going with mustard. What about you? What's your favorite hot dog topping? Let's do it. Oh, John's got a He's got to run after his dogs. All right, you know what I'll do?
No,
I'm
I'm
gonna
just,
pub.
I just want what the female wants to play and the male wants to sleep, so they're barking at each other.
So this is,
But
by the way,
oh
this is
my
the first
god,
task. But yeah, yeah. So this is the winter death race, which I missed, and I mean, this looks pretty brutal. Looks, I mean, look, I guess, yeah, I don't know, but again, a little bit, does make me a little like I missed out on something because
you missed out on that. You really feel that way?
I do. I do. Would I have made it through? I mean, I want to say yes, but I mean, judging by my track record, probably not. But let me see. Like, there's a couple others where. So this is they did some tug of war, I guess. So they were doing a tug of war, and
In the
oof,
river,
in the river. And I think when you lose, I don't think
you
it's
go,
good when you
you
lose.
get dunked. When you lose, you get dunked.
I think so. I think it looked like.
There you
Oh,
go. Now, first thing I'm thinking of when this happens is hypothermia, frostbite, other, types of injuries. The human body
oof,
cannot stand freezing temperatures for very long. You
oof.
know,
This
all you
guy,
have to do is
this
look
guy
at the.
going for it. He's going no shirt and everything. Man,
Well, see, now
good for
that's what I
him.
would do. I would take off as much clothing as possible to keep my clothes dry because there's nothing worse. Being cold is one thing. Being wet and cold, that's
Yeah.
a whole other type of torture.
Check out this dude's skis.
Makeshift skis,
Yeah,
so you won't fall through
yeah,
the
because
ice.
that's another part of what this event is. As much as it can be about just beating you down physically, it's the objective is to test you mentally. So when you are run down and you have nothing left, can you get creative and problem solve? And that's where I've failed numerous times in the past at the summer death race. I'm hoping to change that this year, but that's the goal. I want to change that. I want to stop being so literal in following the rules. So what's the word? Just like,
Fastidiously.
yes, exactly, because that's what I do. And by doing that, I've stopped myself from finding creative ways to get around seemingly impossible tasks.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm going to keep working on. Do you have to sign it? And yeah, you definitely sign liability papers,
Of
Scat, man.
course.
Yeah, you got to sign, and they have a lot, and the way that they word it and the way that it's said is meant to heighten your anxiety, right? It'll say like, I can die, blah, blah, blah. You even have to hold up a picture of you holding a piece of paper that says, I may die. And the whole thing is to get in your head before you even step foot there. There was somebody that I was going back and forth with. She's awesome. And I was really pulling for her. I really wanted her to get through it. And she was telling me while she was on the plane, like, oh, I'm really nervous. I'm kind of freaking out. And I would be too. I look at that and I'm freaking out and I'm sitting here with a space heater directly on me. And I'm complaining about my feet being cold and it's 60 degrees in here. So.
Wow. Yeah, when I had my survival school test, final exam, that 5 days I had to spend in the wilderness and find my way back, they gave you a transponder, and that was for them to know where you are in case 6 days pass and you don't show up. They know where to find you. So I had this thing in my pack. And a couple of the guys I was talking to that had gone through it the year before, he goes, "Man, don't be a pussy. Throw that transponder away. You don't need that." And I'm thinking, that is a failsafe, isn't it? If I was really in a plane wreck in the Andes and I had to like survive, I wouldn't have a transponder with me, would I? And I
Mm.
did. I trashed it. I didn't take it. And the whole time I'm out there, I'm thinking, why did I do that? Why did I do that? But no, I made it, and that was kind of the that was kind of the thing that made it a little bit better in the end. Is yeah, ditch that fucking thing. They couldn't have found me, and so
It's funny because I asked Joe DeSena once I was interviewing him. I said, was there any, like, did you ever have to abandon or quit a race? And he said, there was one time, I forget what it was, but it was a medical thing, I believe. But I said, "Do you ever want to quit?" And he's like, "Yeah, all the time." He's like, "But I just put myself in situations where I couldn't. I either put my keys so far away or I had no way back that the only way for me to get out of it was to keep going." And he's like, "That was so," because he's like, "I knew it. I knew I'd want to quit." It's like this. He's like, "This sucks." You know, when he walked the Iditarod twice. He did it on foot,
Wow.
and yeah, and he was like, He's just like, "Look, you think it's fun all the time? No," but he's like, "You got to do hard shit. That's how you get stronger, better, and push yourselves past
Yes.
troubles in your life rather than just roll over and let it overcome you." All right, John. I don't know if you even want to weigh in on this. I don't even know what this is about because I have zero idea what drama is happening within the bodybuilding, podcasting, live streaming
Uh,
landscape. But maybe you can school me. Whose side is John on in the Armoon Abdobi and Patrick Moore argument? Armoon unhappy
Armin
Pat
Adibi.
Armin. His name is Armin.
Armin. Yeah, Armin.
Armin. Okay, unhappy Patrick gassed up Jim owner for dealing. Chris Aceto and not happy with Armin.
I have no clue what the guy's talking about.
I don't either. It sounds like a really horrible situation all around.
Sounds really stupid to me. But in any event, I'll sign with I'll side with Armin no matter what.
I don't even know who those people are, but
Armin's on my After Hours podcast at RX Muscle.
oh, so it's something you probably will either bring up or have brought up, or no, or have you not?
Probably, but I was gone for 2 weeks, and
Oh yeah,
you know,
all the drama you missed, all this
all the
drama
drama
that's
I missed.
earth-shattering
Yeah,
stuff. I
earth-shattering
mean,
stuff, right?
I have no.
I always wonder if other pursuits contain the same stupid drama bullshit that we get. I mean, does auto racing do this? Does skiing do this? Does basketball do this? I kind of think that bodybuilding and fitness has its own population of fucking idiots that get absorbed in the stupidest shit, and they build their lives around it. They got to listen to all the podcasts that contain some of the stupidity that they promote. And it just, to me, it's like, man, you could have done 3 more sets of squats instead of putting yourself through this bullshit and attained something positive. Instead, you're spending your brain cell activity on the dumbest, stupidest shit you could ever imagine. And to what end? To what's the end? So that one guy comes out on top of the other on the heap of bullshit? I mean, it's just stupidity to the nth degree that I can't put my brain around it. I just can't.
It's all new to me, so I don't know any of it. So it's like it's always like it's usually I'm enlightened by it, and then I forget. I never get the outcomes of these things. It's always
I don't
like,
either. They're always fizzle, and it's like it ends up nothing monumentally positive or transformative ever comes out of it. It's just a bunch of bullshit. And that's just I just don't have time for it. I have no stomach for it. I have no interest in it. I'm not a drama person. I do not care. Yet people keep asking me, what do you think of the fact that so-and-so called so-and-so a fucking idiot? I go, probably deserved it. I mean, what do I care? I really don't.
well, I kind of bring it up because I know this is how you get. So but I also agree with you. I think it's funny because you're right. But this is how it creates engagement for these communities. So these podcasts, when they can get people to comment on stuff, it's it's a good marketing tool. A lot of other podcasts and live streams, and they do the same. But look, I don't know. I don't really even get what I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I
But
really don't. I mean, it reminds me of when my little old Italian grandmother used to come stay with us, and she would have to 3 o'clock. She'd have to watch her story.
mhm.
The soap opera, and she'd plan her day around it. It's 3 o'clock, or 2:30, whatever it was. She's sitting by the TV in the den, waiting for her story to come on, and the content of these stories of soap operas back in the 70s, in the early 70s, or late 60s, early 70s, was absolute nonsense. Nonsense. And it only got more nonsensical as time went on. And it reminds me of this shit. It exactly reminds me of this stuff. Look, hurry up and watch this podcast so you can see what idiot called another idiot an idiot. You know, it's just mind-boggling to me how people get so absorbed in utter bullshit. It's just like, are your brain cells that few and far between that this is your sum total of your entertainment quality is what mook is telling another mook he's an idiot? I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me.
And this is why John is a big party favorite.
Look, I got into this business for one reason: make a change, make a positive change, help people, disseminate knowledge, find and discover and promote techniques and processes and ways of making yourself better, stronger, leaner, faster. That's what I'm interested in. That's why I came to this business, because I wanted to do that for other people that had the same problems that I had, that can get over them, and use my experience and my knowledge to mitigate your suffering, because I went through it. You don't have to. Instead, I get, whoa, so and so called so and so an idiot, and like, really, really, I mean, come on.
Well, there you have it. John doesn't care.
I don't care. I don't
Well,
care.
I do think it's funny how look, a lot of folks that watch or listen to the other show that you do, like they come on here and I guess they want your extra take on it. And the thing is, I really don't know what it's about. So it's usually a one-sided diatribe or monologue, because I'm learning about it. But then when I learn about it, I'm like, man, I don't even know if I should have asked. Because
But it doesn't come down to anything. It doesn't
Mm.
come down to, oh yeah, man, and they were able to get the price of protein down $10 a tub. Oh, that I'm interested in, or the fact that they finally have determined on an official meaning of natural. That would interest me. But to get into these personal squabbles of somebody calling out somebody and somebody doing this to that person and this insult versus that insult, honestly, I don't care. I just don't care. And the people who ask me my opinion on it, you guys ought to know by now that I don't care, that I don't have an opinion on it, that it's stupid, but you still ask. But, whatever.
and I bring it up. So I'm part of the problem.
Well, that's fine, because that helps me express the fact of how stupid I think this shit is. And maybe that will get into one of these people's brains and they'll say, wow, maybe Romano's right. Maybe I should be, applying my time and my interest to my bodybuilding pursuits rather than this stupid fucking drama that means nothing. So,
But that does lead me to a question that I'm curious. What is the dumbest argument that blew up and became something? But whether it could have been 5 months ago, could have been 10 years ago. There had to be one that was just got way out of control, that you were just like either dragged into or witnessed, that was just totally dumb. Do you know what that would be?
probably not, because I don't pay enough attention to them. So
Okay.
I really don't. I really couldn't pinpoint one specifically. There's been a lot of little groups that pop up that think they're got 1,500 followers, so they think they have juice, and then they go on and they call people out and they do this and they do that and they try to stir up some kind of controversy that's based on nothing but bullshit. And people talk about them for 5 minutes and then they think they're famous. So um, you know it's all the immense amount of wasted time is what it comes down to. The energy and the energy and the focus that these guys put into pure psycho bullshit could be applied for more positive things, helping themselves, helping other people, learning more about their training and their supplements and all of that stuff. That would be positive, right? That would be something that you'd want to be involved in. But these stupid squabbles that amount to zero, I have no stomach for them at all, and I do not care.
the one one that I always thought was dumb was on the other side of things. When I first started at Flex, when I moved from the East Coast to Los Angeles to work in the Woodland Hills office, it was the first event I was at, and somebody that worked with us was, you make sure you get up to the front and you cut everybody if you have to. And I was like, why? What for? Well, because because you can. I go, that doesn't seem right. I go, well, if for me, it wasn't like it was a race to get this stuff out, right? A lot of it was, if it was magazines, it was months later. And if it was online, whether or not you put it up within, at that time, it wasn't like things were as speedy as they are now. You really had to, Wi-Fi wasn't everywhere, and it was just a big hassle.
Right.
So yeah, I just never understood it. I never bought into it, but other people would. And it just seemed so dumb. It just was so stupid. And
Yeah, it is.
just, yeah.
And
I'm like,
and for you morons commenting on the fact that I care on another podcast, you're full of shit. I don't care on those podcasts, and I don't care on this podcast. I don't care on any podcast, and I've said it. And Palumbo knows it. That's why he doesn't ask me, because I don't care. And it's been completely it's been revealed all over the place that I don't care. So anybody who thinks that I'm talking about somebody or I'm speaking about a specific incident, you're all wet. I'm not. I don't care. So have at it. Enjoy yourselves. It lives with you, because it's not living with me. So there's a perfect opportunity here for you guys to pick our brains, to learn something, to get something out of this that you can use today to improve yourself. That's what you should be asking me, not about some stupid drama.
all right. Well, Arnold is right now, he's eating 200 grams rice and 3 duck eggs 4 times a day. Is that good for bulking? So it's a total of 400 grams of rice and 12 duck eggs. Why duck eggs? Are they cheaper? Are they? I'm just kidding. Are they?
Because they contain quackabalin, and quackabalin is known to increase muscle mass.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. I mean, is that just what you have access to? Do you have many ducks? Now I'm curious what's going on,
Maybe.
Arnold.
I mean, in some countries, ducks are more prevalent than chickens, so that's cool.
I was trying to think, because I've had duck egg. I just don't know if
They're bigger. They're bigger than chicken eggs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did know that. And the quail eggs are the real tiny ones, right?
Tiny,
Those are
tiny ones. Yeah.
yeah. Those are the ones that people.
Those are the ones you want to bring to the death race. Is the quail
Well, that's the
egg.
one somebody did bring, but then he ate it, and then there was like a carcass inside. So, yeah, there was
That's worse than a cockroach in your juice.
Yeah, I would eat a whole carton of regular eggs before I ate one of those little carcasses.
Oh my God.
I mean, it looked.
That's the worst thing in the world.
He follows Myco Trend. That's why I use duck eggs. By the way, I think I don't know when, but I know Frank was working on trying to get Mike. I don't know when he's going to have time or when he's going to be able to come on, whether it's this show or some other show. He's on a different time zone, but he has been trying to get him on a live stream, and you guys can have all Mike O'Hearn.
Oh,
And
Mike
he's
O'Hearn.
like, look, you guys can fire all. I'm sure he's heard it all before, but I said, look, I'll bring it up.
It's been probably 30 years or more, probably more than 30 years since people have been accusing him of taking drugs. And he has handled it masterfully all of these decades. So, the people still, after all of this time, are still harping on that same stupid accusation, and it just keeps following him everywhere he goes, and it's just never enough. So it's really interesting what interests people, in this business, that causes them to put so much time and energy and interest into something that's absolutely meaningless. So, have at it. Well, I think it'll be great to have him on the show, because he's done a lot, in this industry, and he's had an incredible career. He's done everything from covers of romance novels to TV and movies and everything in between. So, you guys can make fun of him or deny his success all you want. The fact is the fact, and he is what he is, and he's the real deal. So
yeah, and he's strong as hell. And I've met him numerous times, and I got to tell you, never once have I had a negative encounter with the guy. I'm not, we're not on the Christmas card list or anything, but him and his wife have been just two really polite and kind people, and especially when you know the you bring him up and you know his name, they call him Mike O'Trent. It's like I just never understood why, how, where that all came from. And I'm being serious here. Like I know that he claims to not have used drugs, and people are saying, oh, he's a liar. And for me, I don't really care. I do get what you're saying. If he did use them and he's saying he didn't, blah, blah, like, you know, I understand that. But yeah, he seems like just such a nice guy. Like he was
You
super
know,
positive.
the thing is that to doubt him means that you do not believe in genetic outliers. So take Magic Johnson, for example, all right, or Michael Jordan, for example. Okay. What drug could they have possibly taken to make them as good as they are? None.
No.
None. They're just that good.
Right.
What
Exactly.
makes them that good? A whole combination of things, from kinesiology to psychology, all combined make up this freaking nature that we have that is better than anybody else. And every sport has them. Golf has Tiger Woods. Auto racing has a slew of amazing people. MotoGP has the Doctor and Mark Marquez and Jorge Martin, who drags his shoulder in the turns. I mean, we have some incredible, incredible outliers in every single solitary sport, but you're not allowed to have them in bodybuilding. Can't have it. No way. If you're good at bodybuilding, if you're strong, if you're a power lifter, if you break records, if you do all this, there's no way you can be a genetic outlier. You have to be taking drugs. You have to be doing something illegal. You cannot believe what you say because it's impossible. Well, it's impossible for you because you suck. But if that wasn't the case, if you were as good as he was, you'd be all over his jock strap, saying that he's the greatest thing in the world, and he is what he is what he says he is, because you are too. It's because you can't do what he does without an ergogenic aid that makes you doubt what he says. So have at it. The only person you're hurting is yourself, because Mike has made a tremendous career off of himself, and whether or not he's natural has zero bearing on his success.
Yeah, there was something. Let me see if I could find it that I sent Frank. It was really funny. It was a post I saw from O'Hearn that came up, and I just sent it to him and was like, dude, this is amazing. It's so funny. If I could find it. Man, I really do text Frank a lot. I mean, I can't. Let me see. There it is. Yeah, I'll pull it over.
All right.
Here we go. Like it's pretty. I thought it was funny anyway. It was where. Whoa. Okay. It says, if you think your day is bad, just know someone out there is sitting down and watching a 20-minute video on how to be an alpha male. I thought that was really funny. I thought that was good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so true, right? It's like, I don't know. Well, I mean, like Arnold, I know John can read that, so I'm not going to ask him. But
I can't read it, so you got to read it for me.
It says, "Do you really feel that Mike is completely natural? Please answer true to your heart." I just don't understand.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as
Right.
natural. No such thing.
Right.
So how can you determine if someone is natural or not when it doesn't exist?
I just don't. I want to know. And I'm asking. I was asking Get Massive. I was asking Arnold. I'm asking anybody. How long has this debate been going on, or at least
30 years that I know of.
30 years.
At least.
Wow. 30 years. Man, that's nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
30 years. Woo.
Oh, yeah.
Get Massive. Dude, this guy is like all over you today, sweating you. Like he's going to tune to After Hours. He's acting up here, but when he's on with his buddy, he behaves himself. What's there to behave about? I don't understand.
Misbehaving about? I'm the exact same on After Hours as I am on here. I probably curse a little more on After Hours, but other than that, I'm exactly the same. And anybody who knows me knows that that's the case. So
it's because we're really classy here. Look,
Yeah.
I wear my nice sweatshirt today. I wore,
We tried to
like,
color coordinate too, so we're
yeah,
almost
exactly. I was like, John, please wear your blue color.
we got a gray thing going on today.
And I get my tomorrow I get my wife does portraits of, like, she asked me to grow my beard for at least a month or more every winter. She does portraits, but Frank and I are going to cover this. We're going to the NPC workshop at Bev's gym. That's Saturday, February 1st, and at Bev Francis gym in Long Island, it's free. So if anybody wants to show up, Frank and I are going to be there doing some stuff, and then later on we're going to these MMA fights to cover them in Westbury, I believe. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
look, I mean, it's going to be cool, but I'm excited to go see that. But yeah, so I'll have to actually like clean myself up and look presentable, because I don't want to show up to meet all these people like being like looking like I just descended from a cave. So,
So do you get to a point with your beard where it's like so long it's ratty and there's nothing you can do with it? And
I mean, I'm pretty diligent about, getting anything, like clipping any stragglers.
yeah, I clip
And
the strays off, but to
yeah,
actually shape it and make a like
I can't do
nice
that.
design out of it,
I've
you
never been
got to
able to
go
do
to
that.
a barber. I got one up the street. I made him. The problem is I went in there once as a walk in, and I got an appointment with a girl who, you know, it's nice to have a girl touch your face, but at the same time, you got to have a result that you're happy with. And it was when I got done, I looked in the mirror at home. It was crooked. The lines under here were like this. I mean, it was like, so you got to go to a dude with a beard. If you
Right.
can find a dude with a beard, then you're going to get a good result. So when I was in Portugal, I had my beard trimmed by a dude with a beard, and I thought it came out great. So I got to go into that place when that girl's not there, because I'm afraid. What I'm afraid of is I'm going to walk in, I'm going to try to get an appointment with a dude with a beard, and then she's going, "Oh, he's my client," and then I'm going to be in the middle of a fight, because you know how hairdressers are. When if another person cuts your hair, then you've somehow cheated on them, and you're causing drama in their place, and I don't want to do that. So it's either find a completely new barber that I can walk into, or find a time when this girl isn't there and the dude with the beard is, so I can go in and get it trimmed by him. It's only convenience because it's like so close to my house.
Yeah. I've never really tried to do anything too fancy. Sometimes when I shave it, I do like the handlebar mustache, like Hulk Hogan style, or I do like these big chops like The Rock used to have, or Elvis or whatever. And I look ridiculous, but I keep it for a few days and then I ditch it. But that's like the most fun I have with it. But I'm probably just going to trim it back. I prefer to have a beard or at least some facial hair, because I just feel more comfortable. But I wouldn't normally keep it in the winter. It doesn't matter, but in the summer, I can't keep too much bulk on it, man, because
No.
I sweat as it is. I sweat just moving.
Yeah.
So to have that, it just drips, and so disgusting especially when I'm not exercising and it's starting to drip. It's like
Yeah.
on my clothes. Oh,
Do
grotesque.
you trim under here and over here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that. I got, and yeah, those are the ones I do. And it's very, it's easy. Like it's people are like, oh, it must be hard to, no, it's not. I don't have like those big long ones that people braid. Those,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like,
yeah.
well, that takes some talent. But not this. This is easy.
I ride with a couple dudes who actually have it long enough in the front that they put these beads on it,
Yeah,
so
I've seen
so
those.
when you're riding, it doesn't fly all over the place. But sometimes one dude had a bead at the bottom was heavier than the other ones, and it kept whacking him in the face as he was riding. So you got to be careful with that. But I don't think I'd ever have it that long. I think this is as long as I'd ever want it.
See, I
But
also have a wife who she's very tolerant, but if I look like a beast, she's who's gonna want to come anywhere? Listen, I try to be close to her sometimes, so it's like I'm not trying to never run away.
oh yeah, no,
Microblades,
my wife loves it. She's do not shave that off. So
right? I also feel like I look weird. There's one event that I went to with it was a gift guide event in, I don't even know how long it was now, but I screwed up because I was trying to trim my beard, and I used the wrong setting and I took off a huge chunk. So by that, I ended up just having to shave it, and it was really severely uncomfortable. Like the whole time I was talking to people, like just shy and like not, didn't want them to look at me like don't look.
Yeah, yeah. A long time ago, I grew a beard and I had it for a long time. I had it for years, and for some reason, I shaved it off. That was the hardest thing for me to get used to, was having that that baby skin, because your beard protects your skin and it gets softer,
Right.
right? And you shave that all off, you get sunburn instantly. I mean, in 1 second, you get sunburn. You get all kinds of problems. Everything feels weird. It feels wrong. And then, then you get used to that. Then you grow the beard again, and then it itches. You don't like it. It's scraggly, and there's just no happy medium.
No. Well, all right, listen, we've hit the hour. Let's do
All
this.
right.
Yeah, I've heard about that, Scott, man. I don't think John does microblade his eyebrows, unless I'm wrong.
What does that
But
even mean?
I think it's
Microblade.
like I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen videos of it. I don't really. I thought it looked painful, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't
What
know.
do they
It's just.
do?
Uh, am I thinking of the right thing? It almost looks like they're like putting. Somebody help me out here. I mean, I could look it up. Let me see, but
It's funny. I get accused of doing stuff. We have no idea even what it is. So,
well, I feel like, dude, I feel like Scatman would be the world's like best trivia person.
oh, I know, man. If I was
I
playing
mean,
Trivial Pursuit, I'd want him on my team.
oh my god, definitely,
Yeah,
because he says to. I'm constantly looking up some of the stuff he's saying, and I think it's
he is
interesting. But
a wealth of the most esoteric stuff I've ever heard in my life. Yeah,
I'm jealous. I'm
I
seriously
know.
jealous
Me
of that
too.
because
You
I
guys are
can't
like an
retain any.
encyclopedia.
I
Yeah.
can't retain anything. It's okay. Microblading is a semi-permanent cosmetic tattooing technique that creates the illusion of fuller, more defined eyebrows. Oh, okay. I thought it was something else. Okay, Erica Schultz, my wife says it's like a tattoo. All right, my bad. I thought it was something else. I thought it was like, I could have swore I saw. It's got to be a different procedure or something, but I thought it was something they did to like just trim or shave. But
Yeah,
oh,
when I got my beard trimmed in Portugal, the dude was using like a dental floss thing, and he was doing it like up here, and he was going like this with it, and I think it was ripping hairs out of my face, but it was painful and not pleasant, and I didn't like it. So
oof. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do that. I just,
yeah, I'm not doing that either. I don't do, the only thing I do is Botox. That's the only thing I do. And I may get a facelift down the road to fix my eyes, but
yeah, you've
other than
talked
that,
about that. You've talked
yeah.
about the possibility of that. But the thing is, it's funny because when you mention that you get Botox, sometimes I just don't. I'm not seeing where how long ago you've had. I mean, okay, how long ago? When was the last time?
It's probably going on 3 months. I'm due again because of
Okay,
my head's moving. But
how long does it last?
it just makes these lines in the middle here not be so
Yeah.
deep, you know. But somewhat rejuvenating, I guess. I suppose I do it because my wife wants me to.
Listen, yeah, I mean,
Because I'd
listen,
spend
that's
that $520 on something else. Believe me.
sure like a part for your motorcycle or something.
Exactly.
Okay,
Motorcycle
but
parts.
how long does it last? And so it's not
About
immediate,
3
right?
months.
That's okay.
About
It's not
3 months.
immediate, right? So you get it done, and then it takes what, like how many days or hours?
A week or two
Okay,
to get full effect. Yeah.
interesting.
But if you space it correctly, you should never notice the dip, you know.
Okay, yeah,
I never
I
space
guess
it correctly because I can never remember to make an appointment. And my wife says, "Did you make an appointment?" And I go, "No." She goes, "You need to make an appointment." Then I go, "Forget to do it." Then she makes it for me, and it's at the absolute worst time of the day. So I have to change it. And then when I change it, I don't go, and so
sounds about right.
I end up with a gap.
But I never noticed. That's the thing. It's not like you announce it, but I never am like, hey, this is the month John got more Botox.
Right.
I don't even notice it. So maybe I just don't pay
Well,
attention to that
that's
stuff. But
good.
yeah,
I think you don't wanna notice it. That's if
right.
yeah, you ever see these people, the newscasters are on TV and they're like
Yes.
this, and their
Yeah.
face doesn't move, it's just their mouth. Only
Yes.
their mouth, the whole rest of their face is blank, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's
"Oh god, that's too much,"
well,
you
that's
know?
especially that job. Like you notice if somebody doesn't look natural when they're presenting you something, but
Yeah.
when we're just talking, it's not. Again, I've never been like, "Wow, did you see John's Botox?" Like I just
Now, is
never
using
noticed.
Botox natural? What about that?
I think so, right? We lump that in.
Naturally occurring toxin, I mean, what's wrong with that?
So let me ask you this then. So what is a filler then? Not so is a filler something that's also an injection? And do people get
Yeah,
it in
yeah.
more places than their lips, or do they get it in
Uh-huh.
other spots
Yeah,
too? Okay.
I had it done here once,
Okay.
and to try
What
to.
is it?
It's filler. It's like a
But I
goop, a goop that stays
okay.
where you put it, and it
Yeah.
fills in the low area. The problem with people's eye bags right here, it's not this part, it's the dent underneath.
Okay.
If you fill in the dent underneath, then it smooths everything out. So
Hmm.
that's the idea. The problem is there's a tear duct here and a nerve that if you get too close to this, you can fuck yourself up. So you got to go to somebody who knows what they're doing. But yeah, but filler eventually over time your body absorbs it, and you can't, you got to get it done again. So it's
So
one of those
okay,
things.
so you clearly you didn't get it done as often as you get the Botox. So why not? Was it just
Well,
not you didn't like the
I
result?
didn't, I didn't do it. I did it once, and the result was like okay. It
Okay.
hurt like hell getting it done, and I just didn't feel like doing it again. I didn't think the difference was that big,
Yeah.
and I didn't feel like the pain was worth it, and I didn't think the money was worth it. It was like $2,500, and
Really?
yeah, and I just didn't. Wasn't one of those things where I go, wow, I can't wait to get this done again. It was like, I didn't really like it,
Okay,
you know.
two things. One thing is how long does it last for that $2,500, and is it you can get it removed? I'm guessing too, right? So would you have to pay another 2,500 or something to get it taken out
I
if you're
guess you
really
could
in?
have it. I guess you could have it sucked back out. I think that I think your
Oh,
body just gradually absorbs it, and that's why you have to get it done again. So I don't think there would be any reason to get it removed unless you got infected or something. But I think just keeping it, let it wear off, let your body reabsorb it is the best way to go.
oh, I mean, I don't know. When you talk about pain, and what was the? I'm sorry. How long did you say it lasted? I wasn't. I
I
was.
think it lasted about 6 months or so.
It's
Roughly,
expensive. It's still
yeah, it was
pricey.
not
Holy
worth
shit.
it. Oh, there's more expensive shit than that you can jack in there. I mean, it's the money women can spend, women, anybody, on your face is absolutely astronomical. I mean, they do this thing called micro needling. Like, my
That's what
wife.
I was thinking. That microblade. That's what
That's
I
what
was
I thought
thinking
it
it
was
was.
too. But micro needling is like getting a tattoo without the ink, and it's just these massive number of tiny pinpricks that cause your face to just shed that layer of skin, and draw collagen to the area and give yourself a revitalized face. But man, you look like Freddy Krueger the first day you get it. I wouldn't do that. There's no way I would do that.
Oh, yeah, he's not one of the more attractive monsters. That's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right. Listen, listen, we're going to be back Thursday. Thanks everybody for hanging out. And if there's anything you want us to talk about, sans drama that we
Yeah,
don't
no
know
drama.
about, let us know. Comment, send us a message or whatever. Happy to help out and look into anything. And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And
Yep.
have a great day.